morning and welcome to today's meeting. I am Councillor Reid, Chair of the Elections and Democratic Structures Committee. Before we commence, I would like to outline the domestic arrangements for the meeting. We are not expecting a fire practice today. If the alarm sounds, please leave the building by way of the fire exit through the doors at the rear of the chamber. When you have left the chamber, proceed down the stairway and exit through the emergency exit on the ground floor. If there is anybody with mobility issues, please wait in the refuge area at the top of the stairs where the emergency evacuation lift is located and use the intercom situated to the left-hand side of the lift doors to call for assistance. The designated assembly point is in the public square in front of Cast beyond the fountain. Today's meeting will be audio-visually recorded. By entering the council chamber, you accept that you will be recorded and your images retained and broadcast by the council on its website and on YouTube. If anyone intends to record or film any part of today's meeting, please ensure this does not disturb the conduct of the meeting and you only focus on recording those people participating. Okay, so we're going to start with item 1. I have received apologies from councillors Rebecca Booth, Gemma Cobby and John Reid. Item 2, there are no exempt items on today's agenda. Item 3, does anyone wish to declare an interest in an item of business on today's agenda? If so, please declare it now and complete the usual form following the meeting. Please contact Amber Torrington, who can assist you with the process. Item 4, can we agree the minutes of the last meeting as a true and accurate record? Agree. Thank you. Item 5. Item 5, Trina Barber is going to introduce this item. Thank you, Trina.
Thank you, Chair. So item 5 is our elections activity. What we've had since the last meeting, what we've got upcoming and any changes to provide you on any law updates. And there has been several by-elections since the last meeting. So this is just to give you an update on how those election results came out, any other information that generally you don't get to know about. So the first one was the Hatfield Town Council by-election that happened on the 12th of February. And we had council not attend a meeting and it occurred a vacancy which was called. And then for that election, we had an electorate of 1,751. 484 were postal voters and we had 242, 50% returned. All identifiers were correctly verified. We had none rejected. On polling day, just 50, 3.95% electors cast their vote in the one polling station in the Dunsville ward area. Total number of verified ballot papers was 292, which gave us a turnout of 16.68%, which is actually above average for by-elections. And then there's a summary of the results there and the rejected ballot papers as well at the count. The next one was the Edlington Town Council by-election on the 23rd of April. For this one, we had a total electorate of 5,847. 886 were issued with postal votes and we had back 425, which is 47.97%. On polling day, just 46 people turned out to vote in polling stations, which is 0.93% turnout. In total, we had a total number of ballot papers, 471, which gave us a turnout of 8.06%. And then there is a breakdown of the results there for the count and the rejected ballot papers. Armthorpe Parish Council by-election on the 2nd of July, so just quite recently. For this one, we had 10,953 electorate. It is for the parish, it is the whole ward of Armthorpe. 1,955 were issued with postal votes and we received back 936 of them, so 47.88%. 2 postal votes for this one were actually rejected due to the wrong or no date of birth entered on the statement, and those electors have now been notified accordingly. On polling day, 108, that's 1.20%, voted in the 5 polling stations in Armthorpe. And then the total we had combined with the postal votes was 1,044 ballot papers, giving us a turnout of 9.53%. and again, the full breakdown of the votes and the rejected ballots are there. On the same day, we also had another by-election for Stainforth Town Council on the 2nd of July. This vacancy was 2 vacancies. We had 2 resignations at the same time. And the total electorate for this one was 4,277. And of those, 556 were issued with postal votes. We received back 254, which is 45.68%. 3 further postal votes were rejected for having the wrong or no date of birth entered on the statements, and those electors have now been notified. On polling day, 75 voters cast their votes, 2.06% in the polling stations in the Stainforth Town area. A total number of ballot papers verified for both polling stations and postal votes was 329, which gave us a turnout of 7.69%. Due to being 2 vacancies, we did do the block votes for the counting, and because we had so many candidates as well, we obviously, if you've not attended an all-out elections before, we can't cut ballot papers up and put them into candidate piles, so we did go through at length with everyone who attended to explain how counting sheets worked. And the full breakdowns there and the rejected votes. Is there any questions on any of the elections? Just before I move on.
Thank you, Chair, if I may. What was the actual cost of those elections?
I don't have them all back yet. Sorry, Glenn.
Oh, and who bears the cost of that? Because some of it, does any of it come back to CDC, or is it all borne by the parishes?
Yeah.
I don't have a parish council in my area, so I've absolutely no idea. Absolutely there.
So the cost of any town and parish by-elections is at full cost to those parish and town councils. We don't pay anything. We don't sub any of the costs at all. So for these elections, they also get the choice on if they want to send poll cards out or not, because they are paying for them, and the law allows it when it's not combined with another election. So that saves a big main bulk of the cost, because postage is really expensive. But all the invoices, I don't have everything back yet for some of them, such as the ones that just happened on the 2nd of July. So I'm still waiting for invoices to come in from Royal Mail and the printers and things. So we don't have all the costs back. But they are all then sent to the parishes and town councils to pay, which we invoice them accordingly properly through finance. Okay, so just wanted to give you an update on one of the law changes, the supplementary vote system, which a lot of you will probably remember, is actually coming back in for mayoral elections. So it's received royal assent on the 19th of April. It goes back to the first and second choice votes for people to make whenever there's mayoral and PCC elections. Secondary legislation necessary to change the voting system for the combined authority mayors and combined county authority mayors has already been made. And then I think that's probably because there is the Manchester one happening soon. So I think they focused on that one first. And then the changes will then come in for our elected mayors like what we have. So it obviously doesn't affect us straight away. We don't have elections for combined authority mayors until the year after next. So it'll be the 4th of May 2028 when we have our next combined authority mayor, and then our elected mayor the year after in 2029. So we haven't got it for a while. But in Doncaster, we've obviously done that for a long time, so we are used to it. It's not something different. We got away with it for one election, I think, and that was it. And we're going back to that.
So thank you, Trina. Does anybody wish to comment or ask any questions? No? Okay, thank you. So then it's do members note the report? Thank you. Item 6, Trina Barber will introduce this item. Thank you, Trina.
Thank you, Chair. This item's registration activity. So I have put some key information in the report, as I know we do have some new members now for this committee meeting. So there is a bit of an explanation of how things work for Canvas and different routes, a bit of a picture diagram as well. But basically, every year we contact every property in Doncaster to make sure that our register is accurate and all the information we hold on the register is right. So we check the electors, postal voters, age, so if they're over 76, so that they don't have to do jury service, that's what that's for, and if they want to be on the open register or not. So to begin with, we start by sending data, national data matching process, and that must take place between the 1st of June and Friday the 28th of August. And Electoral Services carried out that government national data match on Tuesday the 9th of June. So we booked that slot in pretty early. We uploaded our data to MHCLG, and they then came back checking with the Department for Work and Pensions information and told us how many electors and how many properties they believe actually match completely, 100%. At that time, our data match gave us back electors of 102,060. Properties, and that was 68.5% that successfully matched. And they come under Route 1. So they matched, we don't need to do anything further, we just need to notify them that we believe their details are correct, and if they don't, then that's the only reason they need to contact us and let us know if there is a change. A total of 46,846 properties appear to have changed, so that may be that just one person in that property's left, or at least one person may have entered that property and we haven't been notified on our system. It also means that they are the empty properties, so all empties we do have to get in touch with to try and obtain if it's still empty or not. And then what we do is we try and do some data matching and data mining, as we call it. So we will check council tax records for those empty properties to see if it's showing that there's somebody in there now. So we know we need to get in touch. We'll also check our customer services data, any data really that we can obtain from the council where we can get a lot of information of someone who's at that property. We'll get that information. Our system may already have some pending electors on there, or it may have some information on there, and if we can obtain a match and get that information, we know that we can put those properties into that Route 1, which is what we've done. And we were managed to move quite a few properties out of Route 1, out of Route 2 into Route 1. Just have a look how much that, 11,168 properties. So that gave us a total of 111,514 properties for Route 1, and then 37,392 properties for Route 2. So Route 2 properties are the ones we need to get a response for. So what we do now is we email, phone, write to. When we get no response again and again and again, we then have to go out canvassing and doing whatever we can to get that information back to see if they are matches or not. We will do a bit of focusing on empty properties. We link up with new homes because they do let us know sometimes that people have not moved into them yet, or when they do, we generally don't put them onto the system until planning have had the notification to say that's now a full and complete property. Sometimes, you know, they do them in bulk and they might be a little bit delayed. So we do try and link up and work with people where we can to get true and accurate real-time information. Care homes come under Route 3. We do have a good rapport with care homes because obviously they do have people, the turnaround. Sometimes people come and just stay for short term. Sometimes people are there for a bit longer. So they do generally try to update us throughout the year. But when it comes to the canvas, because we need to have everything up to date by the 1st of December, we generally do try to wait on care homes because sometimes they do have a lot of turnaround. We want to keep it as accurate as possible. So we'll wait until kind of probably October time to start contacting to get their full latest information for that. So that's everything on the canvas. The next part, we've got an update on the Elections Act for the postal vote refresh and the renewals. So we did speak at length about this at last meeting. I have put all the information in again because I know some members weren't present at that meeting. But basically, the legislation's changed. It used to be everybody who had a postal vote with a signature of 5 years had to renew. It's now been reduced to a signature of 3 years, so anyone with more than 3 years need to refresh their signature on their postal vote application. Because the law came in and changed, they didn't require us to write to people for 2 years, so it gave us a lot more people to contact because we've missed 2 years of work and contacting them. So we had a little over 51,000, 51,210 electors that needed to reapply if they wanted to stay as a postal voter. And they had to do that by the 31st of January this year. Because of May's elections last year, we held off and then started that after the big elections last year, as we obviously didn't want anyone to lose their postal vote. In total, 36,629 of those 51,210 electors reapplied for a postal vote, and that was 71.53%. And 14,581 electors, 28.47, did not respond, and they were issued with a cancellation letter informing them they'd now be cancelled. I mean, we had contacted them many a times through lots of different ways, so we did give them lots of notice that it was going to be cancelled, but they can apply for one at any time. It's not cancelled forever. They can still have a postal vote if they wish. So at the last meeting, I gave you a bit of information, and I've just put the chart in here again because I just spoke about it at the last meeting, just to say this is the number of postal votes that we've had returned for the last couple of elections, the major elections, and from what we've cancelled and what we now have on our system, we've got 39,343 at present postal voters, and we used to have 55,773. But if you have a look at the number of postal votes returned, apart from the parliamentary one, that's pretty much where we are. So those postal voters are probably people that actually use them, that have kept on the system. And then what else I've done is at Appendix A, is I've given you a breakdown there of by ward. Because we talked about this again at the last meeting, so that's why that's on there. So we've got June's electorate on there for each ward. We've got the postal voters in June last year when we started the contact and of the reapplication process, and then we've got June this year, and then I've just put in there to help work it out for you all, the difference, so you can see what's been reduced in each ward, and that gives you the total of the 16,419 that's been deleted and the 39,353 that we've got for each ward there. Okay. The postal vote reapplication process, we did receive some funding from national government for this as a kind of a new burdens. For this year, we have 4,296, so much less. More manageable for us, not as much processing, because it does take a long time processing them per application. I mean, people send them back paper, they do them online. It does take a lot of time. We have to link to the register, check them on the register, link back into the system. Any that come by paper, we then have to scan them and put them into the online portal system and into the register. So each one does take a lot of manual work, unfortunately, and we have fed this back. They have tried to tweak and update the system the much they can. It is a little bit better than it first was when the portal came live, but it is a lot of time and processing work for the team. There is some information there on our website, and there is a live digital performance data, which is run by the official gov.uk. That's not just ours, that's everyone's across the country, and you can break down and filter if anyone's interested in the postal votes and how they look across the UK. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Trina. Does anyone wish to comment or ask any questions? Do
Yeah, can I just ask this, postal votes returned, 60%? You know, it's on page 14. It's really high, that, isn't it? Is there what we can do to get people more into it?
So usually we get that's usually around 50-60% returns for postals. What we're hoping now is, because we have knocked off a lot of those postal voters, that when we do get them back, it probably will be higher, because the people that weren't using them have stopped being a postal voter now. So we do think that when we do have one of our bigger elections, that the response back to them will probably be higher than that. I guess we'll see when we've got one next, which is the year after next.
Thank you. Oh, sorry, Councillor Dennis.
Thanks, Chair. I've completely forgot what I was going to say now, Trina. It will come back to me. Oh, that's it. You said about the live data dashboard where you can sort of see how other LAs are performing. And I'm sure if I clicked on there, I could see what it's like for the other 3 authorities in our area in terms of their rates of return. Do you know off the top of your head sort of how they compare with having their postal votes gone through that process? I'd imagine for Sheffield and Barnsley it would have been high because they had locals this year.
Yeah, we all experienced similar. So Rotherham had about the same postal votes cancelled, but they are the same as us. We don't have any elections. We've not got any next year. So we are very similar, which is good because we know that we're both kind of working the same there and the reasons why. Sheffield and Barnsley they started earlier on their postal vote refresh. So they did let people know, but I know that they still had a large number come back just before May's elections, as expected, when more information goes out about elections coming up and poll cards start landing. So they did have an increase. I don't know what their final numbers are now, I'm afraid, sorry, but yeah, their results will be online for what they've had back.
Any other member wish to comment? No, thank you. Do members note the report? Thank you. That concludes the business at today's meeting. I would like to thank all for your attendance. I declare the meeting closed.